Today, we're going to be talking to Festus Mensah in Ghana. Well, in New Zealand right now, it's about 8 o'clock in the evening, so I've got my glass of wine that I'm going to enjoy. Festus, we're at 7 o'clock in the morning, has his hot chocolate. So Festus got up very early in the morning to sit down and talk to us a little bit about himself. So what I'd like to do is let Festus introduce himself to the rest of the members. Festus, the podium is yours.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you, Rob. And then thank you to club members. It's a privilege and an honor to have this opportunity to introduce myself to all you honorable members. I'm Festus Mensah from Ghana, a geoscientist and a professional engineer. It's been a long road coming to this stage of my life, and I feel there's still more to do. I haven't gotten to where I aspire to reach. I still got some good to do to the people. You know, I fell in love with Rotary some many years ago when I got the opportunity to take part in a polio vaccination program in Ghana. And after that, I always wished and aspired to become a Rotary member. This opportunity came up when I delivered lectures to the National Groundwater Association, NGW USA, and I was introduced to the E-Club by Bruce Lacey, which I really appreciate and happy to be accepted to the club. On a normal day, I spend time in office. We have a soil lab. I engage with students on their project work, and then with clients. Sometimes I go to the site to do some drilling and geotechnical work, geotechnical investigations. We work with the mines and some government institutions. My interest in clean water for all has really drawn me closer to the activities of Rotary and then Rotary International, you know. And my association with the club is, I feel it's key, you know, it's an instrument for me to be able to help the community where I find myself. You know, I grew up in a suburban area in a city where we grapple with clean water, water running from the tap. Sometimes water runs from the tap twice a week or once a week, and so sometimes the water runs deep in the night. You have to wake up very early in the night, around 1 a.m. to make sure you catch up some water before you sleep, you know. So it's a real experience. So all that in mind really shaped me, you know. Sometimes you have to walk a very long distance to fetch water. Not once, over 10 kilometers of walk, you know, one for yourself, one for your parents, and then probably for your little ones, your junior siblings. So all these were motivations and drive, you know, that really pushed me to go up the ladder, because also in the community, most of the youth wouldn't even go anywhere above basic school. So I had that edge to go on to the tertiary and then specialize in one thing so that I can come back to the community and give back, help the little ones and the older, and then also in terms of clean water and then sanitation, good sanitation to the people, and then try to keep the environment, you know, very clean, you know, because of the speed at which these trees are being cut all over here. I think it's good I'm back in the community to always contribute my little quota from what I've learned, you know. And so with the club, I hope with the club and the members, I'll be able to, I'll come to meet the right people and the right persons I can work with, not necessarily to satisfy my people in my community, but also to touch the many people in need of clean water across the West African sub-region, not necessarily Ghana. If you go to the other countries in the sub-region, there's a lot to be done there, in terms of clean water and sanitation. And out of this, as I still do my research work, I open a consultancy where we are into drilling using clean technologies and then cheaper methods to drill water for the vulnerable, those who cannot afford. We are able to drill for them at a very cheaper cost so that they can get clean water. So basically, it's good. It's good. I find myself with a family like yours, like the E Club, and I'm very ready to get myself involved in anything, all activities in the drive for clean water and sanitation, and then hygiene. Not necessarily in a developing country, but wherever the need arises, we're very glad to contribute my quota and my expertise, in driving that mission. Rob, are you there?
Yeah, I am here, and I was wondering, in our conversation, you mentioned a number of things. One of the things was, it's my understanding you got involved in the WASRAG. How did you get involved in the WASRAG, and what are they doing right now, and how do you see yourself being a part of the WASRAG?
Okay, I got introduced to WASRAG as I got to know the E Club, because I realized the activities of WASRAG is kind of, WASRAG automatically gives you membership to the E Club or stuff like that. So I registered to attend the last meeting or congress in Atlanta, but it was quite unfortunate. My schedule wouldn't allow me to be there, but I tried to follow things online, and then I look forward to joining or meeting or making it the next year to the Congress. I checked out the activities of WASRAG, and I feel it's in tangent, okay, with what the E Club, although the E Club is very special, in the way we do our things, okay, but we kind of related, in the mission and the drive for clean water and sanitation and all that. So going forward, I haven't been able to be that active with WASRAG and also with the E Cloud, but I look forward to getting to, once the opportunity is given, and then the right people approach, or I think maybe I take the right move. I think I'll get myself involved very well going forward. Yeah.
So as a geological scientist, is there a certain organization that you're working for in Ghana?
Yeah.
What is that?
Like with the research institute, we have the Water Research Institute, okay? We have the Water Research Institute, and then we have the Geological Survey, that's the Ghana Geological Survey. And then I liaise with the universities, that's the departments, the geology and then the civil departments, to undertake projects. And there are many opportunities here to explore, although we have some NGOs and stuff we work with, like World Vision is one, and some local ones we work with, over here. Yeah.
Do you just stay in Kumasi, or do you actually go beyond Kumasi with your work, or what's happening?
Actually, I stay in two places here. I both in Accra and then in Kumasi. Kumasi is more of my work and my office, and then Accra is more family, But I still go to Accra to see business partners and then to meet other professionals. So I shift between Accra and Kumasi, and then also wherever around the country where there's a project, I go stay there until the project is over. But I'm basically based in Kumasi. Yeah.
So you mentioned wells. Are there other types of water projects you're involved in? Is there filtration projects, things like distribution projects and things like that in Ghana?
Yes, we got to do more with installation of new wells, actually drilling new boreholes, and then sometimes there are some rehabilitation and expansion works on older waterworks, which we work with other engineers, in the designing and implementation of the expansion projects. So there are quite a couple though. It hasn't been that challenging, but we look forward to uh, getting ourselves involved more, and then getting most of these projects to undertake. Actually, yeah.
Kumasi is more of an urban area, I guess. You have like wells and distribution on that.
Yeah, it's the second largest city in the country. Yeah, if you take Accra, Kumasi is the second largest. Yeah.
And because of that, are you looking more towards wells and some sort of distribution, or is it just single point wells where everybody goes to the well to get their water?
There's been a phenomenal increase in the number of people, okay, in the city Kumasi. So there's pressure, okay. There's pressure on the demand for water. It didn't correspond with the increase in the expansion of the infrastructure. Okay, the infrastructure we have here is old, okay, and it's that the number of people it was designed to serve, has surpassed, okay, like 4 or 5 times, okay. So the demand for clean water is high. We're still rushing here in the city. It's only a few ones, those who have money, they're able to afford to sink their own wells in their homes and then use it. So there's a gap. There's a gap to be filled. It's a huge gap. To be filled.
So wells are basically kind of a water quantity solution. Are there issues about water quality? Are you doing filtration at all in the country?
Come again?
That wells, for the most part, are basically a water quantity solution. Do you have a water quality in Ghana?
It's balanced, but quality and then quantity. Okay, quality and then quantity, the supply or the demand. So it's both. It's both. The quality is an issue, at some places, okay, and then the quantity available for the people, so we have issues like that, but it's not so severe.
So on the quality side, what sort of pathogens are you addressing? Are there issues about fecal contamination or chemical contamination? I think guinea worm was a big issue in Ghana at one time, was it not?
It was, but I think they've done some tremendous work on that now, so it's not so much a problem. But we do have this contamination, like fecal contamination, and then some like iron contamination, and trace mineral contamination, at certain places, But for the guinea worm, I think we haven't been hearing of any much cases for some time. But we still have quality issues in certain areas. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe, if I'm right, that the Carter Foundation was fairly heavily involved in Ghana doing guinea worm. And it's a fairly easy solution with just cheesecloth and fairly simple filtration systems that can actually kind of keep that pathogen out of the water. So, yeah.
Actually, and that's why I think I try to share it with you. Like we have a very there's a gap to fill in terms of like you said, introducing this water filtration system where people in most of the rural areas can use, not necessarily in the city, because sometimes you go to a place, you see they have a well, all right, but the quality of the water isn't the best. Okay, you see dissolved particles in the water when you fetch it, or you see it a bit colored or something when you fetch it, and all those things are quality issues that needs to be addressed, and like you said, I think the last time we're speaking about the health, like if you look at the health data in some of the areas, you check the rate at which people are getting sick and all that, you realize it's related to the quality or the water they drink, so we have issues like that, lots of issues like that.
When you do a project, do you actually involve the community as far as getting engaged in management of the wells or maintenance of the wells? How do you approach those issues? That was a big issue with Biniam in Ethiopia, and also there's been conversations with other members. Are those the same sort of issues you got in Ghana?
Um, Rob, I didn't get you well. Can you come again, please?
Oh, no worries, no worries, Festus. Sometimes the connection kind of breaks up. But what I was saying was, in some areas like in Ethiopia, where Biniam's been at, and other places too, that they involve the community in the project rather than just a technician coming out, because there are issues about maintenance and keeping the community involved. You do the same thing in Ghana?
Yeah. We get, sometimes you go to a place, a project is you take a project and it's far away from the community and they don't go there anymore. You find it, you go and the water facilities in the bush and you got weeds all over it. So it's good. We interact with the people. The people are highly involved, but sometimes you go in a city and you realize the favorable place you can sink the well, the sanitation condition there is not good. So you have to take it, away from the people, but in the future, probably maybe we may have to find a way of connecting it, to the people directly to where they are. But we have issues like that here, although the people are involved, but we have issues where wells have been abandoned in a bush and stuff like that, because it's not closer to the people, yeah. So we have issues like that, yeah.
One of the things that Jessica Murison and Beatrice Chisenga like to bring up are the issues about getting women involved, that they really are the stakeholders in the village. They are the ones that feel responsible for the families. You actually target women in the villages to get involved in the water projects that you do also?
Yeah, I think it's a new trend and it's a good trend, because most often you go to the villages, the community heads and the opinion leaders are men. They are not women, right? So the women don't come in the forefront. But this time, we kind of like what Chisenga and then Dr. Chisenga and the others are proposing. I think it's about time we bring the women in the forefront. Okay, probably whatever decision we take, we still have to. The woman we have to engage. The woman will have to be there. So I think it will be a good thing. And it will help. It will help a lot. Although we consider women to be the prime users and or the prime benefits of these water points, most often they are ignored. Most often they are ignored. And I think going forward, yeah, we'll have to really engage them and involve them. So I think it's better, if the women are engaged anytime. Yeah.
When we were talking about water quality, and we were talking about pathogens, you were mentioning that fecal contamination is a big issue. So that brings up the issue about sanitation. What are you doing about sanitation in Ghana?
It's a whole thing. For sanitation, we are a bit back, because you still see people doing open defecation and stuff. You see people openly urinating in the city. So there's a long way. I think we need to do some more awareness. This awareness of hygiene and stuff. We go to the markets. It's terrible. Sometimes you don't see sanitation facilities as required, to the number of people in the market, and we don't give priority to that. But I think with awareness and then maybe you pump in some more funding there, we'll get there. We'll get there gradually. We'll get there because if you go to the rural or the informal population, Sanitation is terrible. You know, it's very, very terrible. But I think with awareness and education, we can get somewhere. You know, going forward. You know.
So when you approach sanitation issues, are you looking at pit latrines? Are you looking at eco sanitation systems, distribution system? What are you using? Or maybe you're using different systems based off of the demographics or the concentration of the population. What do you normally?
Yeah, yeah, you can use the demography, like the concentration, and probably we have these mobile ones. If this mobile friendly sanitation stuffs could be provided at these um, highly populated places like the markets and stuff, I think it will help a lot. You know, it's just like the sanitation facilities are not adequate. Okay, it's inadequate. So any innovation or any method that will make it available, you know, for people to access, you know, even at a fee, I think they'll be willing to pay, because presently what we have around that people are paying, I don't think is up to standard. You know, you can even get contaminated going there. You know, so it's the whole issue. You know, it's a whole issue that requires a lot of efforts. You know, to
You know,
tackle.
you made the comment about people paying, and it's interesting because Neil Van Dyne and Haiti also mentioned the idea of the need, if a project is going to be sustainable, there's a strong need for the community to begin to pay and accept the cost, and it's a way of also the community taking ownership. How do you do that in Ghana?
Yeah, they pay. They pay. It's a whole thing. They pay. The community is ready to pay, and what they pay for is not even the best. You know, so if you have a very innovative uh, 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 prototype out there, they are all willing to pay once it's, you know, it's going to serve them, increase their, make them comfortable and good health and all that. They are ready to pay, but what they are paying for now is even what they are getting for what they are paying now is not the best. You know, that's what I mean. You know, so the people are willing to pay once we have the facility for them. I think they are. You know, so the opportunity is there. Yeah, once they're educated, they are willing. You know, and once they are engaged before the facility is introduced, they are willing. Yeah.
So is there how do they pay? Is there a maintenance cost, or are they built a certain way? How do you actually implement a payment system for this?
Actually, they pay per use. You see, they pay per use. They have a collector. You keep accounts, so the money is back. They use it back to maintain the facility, and then also to pay themselves some little allowance for those who maintain the facility. Okay, so that's what basically they do. So as you pay as you use, you know, you pay as you use, you know.
So
That's the idea.
is there payment one that fully pays the cost of the water, or does it still need to be subsidized by the government or by somebody else?
I think they're able to generate enough that there's no subsidy from the government, you know, because whatever money they take, they use the same to run the facility. So I don't think there's any subsidy for them. You know, it's all run from the money they take. You know, and they do make a lot of money. They get a lot of money here. Those who run the sanitation facilities, that's for both fecal and then solid waste. Yeah, there's a whole they generate lots of money. You know, so there's no subsidy like that in the system. You know, yeah.
So who collects the money, and who also does the maintenance for the facility?
I think it's in connection with the assemblyman. You know, like the political or the district chief executive or the local authority. You know, the local authority supervises these facilities in the localities. Yeah,
Is that the same in urban areas as well as rural areas?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as in urban areas. Yeah. But I think we have some people now who are privately coming into it in the urban areas. They privately build, yes, and then those are not controlled by the local authority. I think those are run as individual facilities, and they collect their own money and then they maintain their own facility. Yeah. We have some in the city, but there are not many. It's just a few, if you go around the country.
Do the privately run organizations increase the cost of the water?
Yeah, a bit, but it's not so much. The difference is not much. It's just a bit. It's not so much. The difference is not much. Yeah. They have something like that. Yeah.
So this is all really good, Festus, but I guess my question for you is how do you see yourself fitting in the E-Club now? And if you're going to look ahead and figure out how you can best work with the club, where do you see yourself fitting in and where do you see the club going?
Actually, like I said earlier, I want to see how I can merge my activities here, like my projects I run here, with the objectives of the club. Okay. I mean, I want to be an ambassador where I am, of the club, probably in Ghana, West Africa. Okay. So I want to promote your values, okay, and your mission. Okay. So I want to see how I can line that with my work here, or what I do here. Okay. And then also, if there's anything I can be called upon to do in helping the club achieve its objectives, I'll make myself available. Yeah, going forward. Yeah.
Are there Rotary clubs in Kumasi or Accra or anywhere in Ghana?
Yeah, actually, I did some work with the Rotary Club of Accra East in connection to the Rotary Club of Dallas, Texas. Because my brother is a member here in Ghana. So through that, we did some work before. That was a year or two before. So we have Rotary clubs here in Accra, but I'm here to meet a member here in Kumasi. I'm here to meet a Rotary.
Yeah, the reason why I was saying that was, it's a loaded question from my side, is that one of the things we can do with our members that are actually in countries that need water and sanitation is those members actually become as you mentioned, the ambassadors for the club, and they have the ability to connect sponsor clubs from the United States or New Zealand or Europe or whatever to host clubs in their country, like in Ghana. So the idea basically is that you would actually connect those, or represent the clubs in Ghana. And when it comes down to doing projects in Ghana, that you actually are the person that would be the face of the E-Club and assist those people with doing matching grants or watching how that project is progressing and things like that. So that's one of the things you can do.
Yeah, I've been thinking of that, but I just didn't know how to the approach. The other time you were saying something like you want to come out with a format. I wanted to give a talk or a presentation, okay, like a PowerPoint slide we can use anywhere we go as an E-Club member. So I don't know if it's still going to come up. But yeah, I'm looking at meeting one of the local clubs to give a talk. So I'm still working around. Once I get in touch and I'm given the opportunity, I'll talk to you about it, and then I'll see what I can present. So I'm working on it. Then I'll be glad, to do that.
For what it's worth, Nancy Gilbert and her committee is still working on the PowerPoint presentation. It will happen, trust me. So get ready. At some point in time, you will have a PowerPoint presentation.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
So, Festus, I really enjoyed this conversation. I enjoyed my wine. I'm sure, hopefully, you enjoyed your chocolate.
Yeah, my chocolate coffee is cool. I have to go for another one. After talking to you.
I can't imagine that you're drinking chocolate this early in the morning. I thought you'd be drinking coffee. This is what I have to pick yourself up.
Actually, this is raw cocoa powder. Okay, it's raw cocoa powder with no sugar.
Ah,
Yeah, it's raw. I think I can post you one. I can post you one and you try it in New Zealand. Okay?
sounds like a great idea. Well, I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
enjoyed this conversation, and I think that's the end of your talk. Again, Festus,
yeah.
thanks so much for volunteering to do this.
Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much. Thank you.